Happy Monday, everyone. Evan Smith, pastor at Second Presbyterian Church here in downtown Stanton, coming to you with your daily Lenten devotional. Let's start your day off right. So hopefully no one will accuse you of having a case of the Mondays. So today we're looking at Matthew in the 25th chapter. It's a little bit longer of a passage, but it's a great passage, starting in verse 31. This is Jesus speaking, and he said, "When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, then he will sit on the throne of his glory. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate people one from another as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. And he will put the sheep at his right hand and the goats at the left. Then the king will say to those at his right hand, 'Come, you that are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you took care of me. I was in prison, and you visited me.' Then the righteous will answer him, 'Lord, when was it that we saw you hungry and gave you food, or thirsty and gave you something to drink? And when was it that we saw you a stranger and welcomed you, or naked and gave you clothing? And when was it that we saw you sick or in prison and visited you?' And the king will answer them, 'Truly I tell you, just as you did it to one of the least of these who are members of my family, you did it to me.' Then he will say to those at his left hand, 'You that are accursed, depart from me into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not welcome me. Naked, and you did not give me clothing. Sick and in prison, and you did not visit me.' Then they will also answer, 'Lord, when was it that we saw you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or naked or sick or in prison and did not take care of you?' Then he will answer them, 'Truly I tell you, just as you did not do it to one of the least of these, you did not do it to me.' And these will go away into eternal punishment, but the righteous into eternal life." So this passage haunts me at times. It does. It haunts me because I know I pass people by. And I know I'm not alone in that. This isn't a hard thing to admit. This is easy to admit. And I can justify it in all kinds of ways. I can't help everybody. I don't know how they're gonna use it. The money I give them, I don't have the time. I mean, whatever it is, we're amazing at offering excuses. But the time that sticks out most to me was actually from my year spent in Kenya. There were so many people who were begging for food. It was very easy, very quickly, for my heart to harden and to become almost immune to people's request for things. And after all, I mean, I was making so little money, just barely getting by myself. I didn't feel like I had it to give. And there was one day this boy, probably 10 years old, just continued to follow me and pester me and ask me for food. And I hate to admit this, but this is true. He just kept saying, "But I'm hungry." And people said this all the time. And I'm just wanting to be left alone. And I actually said to him, "I don't care." And I walked away. And I guess he wasn't accustomed to people being so rude or blunt with him. And he stopped following me finally, and I felt this relief that, I mean, he'd been a city block, and he'd been following me and pestering me and interfering in my walking. He was finally leaving me alone. And as I'm maybe 10 feet in front of him, I hear him just say, "My name is John." Like, I don't know if someone told him this is a really great technique to rehumanize yourself in someone's eyes. I doubt it. I don't know what made him say that, but it stopped me dead in my tracks and it broke me. Of course, this is a person, of course, he had his name, and his name was John. And I went with him, and I bought him some bananas, and I sat with him as he ate because I wanted to make sure he didn't try to resell those bananas back to the vendor at a reduced price and take that money to use for this huffing glue that was a real problem with the street children in Nairobi. And I would love it if I said like that, and that fixed me forever, but it didn't. It didn't. I mean, things returned, but in that moment, I realized a little bit more of what it was to care for the least of these. That's our challenge today. That's our challenge every day to find out ways to live as faithful followers of Jesus in ways that allow us to care for the least of these, because in so doing, we care for Jesus because Jesus so identifies with the plight of those who are suffering and in need that if we neglect them, it's like we're neglecting him. So we can't help everybody, but let's not let that be a reason not to help anybody. And that's our word for today. I hope this found you well. Thanks a lot for joining us. If you like this, please click the like button, maybe even share it on your own page. Thanks a lot. Have a great day, and goodbye.